Welcome to This Must Be the Place. On today's show, anything can happen.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. This must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Said ain't no time to waste. Talk to me. This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Said come on down, 'cause this must be the place.
Hello.
Hello.
And
Hi.
welcome
Hello.
to This Must Be the Place, the only Twin Cities real estate and real estate adjacent podcast where one of the hosts has a pipeline deader than recent congressional Democrats. Recent congressional Democrats.
Say it louder. Say it one more time.
3 congressional Democrats in the United States House of Representatives have died in the last 3 months. The Democrats are close to the Republicans in the House. They keep dying.
Well,
Jerry Connolly, 75 years old, just died.
was he the Cush?
What?
Jerry Maguire.
Oh, I was
Cush.
thinking of Jerry Sandusky.
No,
That's
the
a
Cush.
whole other thing.
Connolly.
Oh, yeah.
The Cush.
Jerry Connolly, 75 years old,
Yeah.
dead. Congressperson from Virginia.
Sorry for his family. Oh, Virginia.
You know what?
Virginia's a tough one.
Couple months ago, the House Oversight Committee. You know what? Do you know why Democrats are dumb and are losing to these freaking psychopaths?
Because they're dying.
Because of the gerontocracy? Because they keep electing 90-year-old people that keep dying? When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was up for the House Oversight Committee, you know who won? Dead-ass Jerry Connolly a couple months ago. And Nancy Pelosi
that's the guy.
shamed. That's the guy. Nancy Pelosi shamed all Democrats for denigrating him. When you have somebody young and exciting with fresh, new, bold ideas, and you stifle them, and you elevate this dude who's great, that's fine. He's old as shit, and he just died.
We're going straight into the politics. We're just like...
Your pipeline
Right
is
at him.
as dead as U.S. congressional Democrats, is what I'm saying.
Jerry Connolly.
Jerry Connolly, 2 other dudes, I don't remember their names.
I thought you meant dead as in like ineffectual and stupid kind of dead. Like
No.
write a strongly worded letter kind of dead.
I just wanted to come up with a simile for the fact that congressional Democrats are
It's both a
dumb.
metaphor and a simile. Because they're dead in more ways than one, apparently. Like
Yeah.
physically actually dead.
Yes.
And dead because their ideas are dead and
Yes.
stupid.
But
and-
not even, this is an objective, non-slanty kind of take.
just dead.
Just, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're putting
Gerontocracy.
So,
Look it up.
Listen,
Not you.
ageism.
Anybody. I'm not trying to be ageist.
No.
but
Ageism is a fact of life for anybody in any job in the Western world that is in their on the back half of their 50s and above. In every single job, it exists, except for the most important jobs in the entire world. Politics is uniquely pushes, it's almost like anti-ageism or reverse ageism. They uniquely hold a place for people that, and this is not an ageist take here, I am cognitively less acute and sharp than I was when I was in my 30s. I am. I feel it every day when I'm like, well,
I mean,
what's
I'm
that?
built different, so I don't understand. But
I get that. But like the reality is, once you hit a certain age, cognitively, the declination is there
For sure.
right? There's
Even if it's
there's
by-
wisdom, right? I am wiser.
For sure.
I
wouldn't change
hard-
spots with my
yes,
early 30s
yeah.
self.
But there comes a point when wisdom and cognitive ability don't offset, right?
True.
And politics is one of the few places where it doesn't seem like that matters much. And we consistently vote, regardless of party, for old people and old ideas, and the idea that wisdom trumps everything else. And I personally think there needs to be a better balance. I listen to some college kids talk, and my initial response is, "You fucking dumb, beautiful bastard." You know, like,
You're like, "Oh,
I just
cute."
I just want to hug them and be like, "You're so naive and innocent and exuberant but like so devoid of context." You know, and I was you, and now
Oh,
I'm me.
hell yeah, I was there.
But to that end, there is a middle ground, man.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in America, we could stand to figure out what that is, so we stop electing the gerontocracy to tell us what is and what
You
isn't.
stumbled upon, I mean, do we have a governor's race coming up? Do we have a Golden Shields double ticket? Are we the middle ground that we're talking about?
So would you be the governor and I would be the lieutenant governor? Because I'm going to be real with you, lieutenant governor. Like, I like the name lieutenant.
Yeah, it sounds badass.
In front of the governor.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
LG. They call me LG.
I'd fall on the sword, I guess, and be the governor.
Lil
but-
Golden. Lil Golden, the LG.
Anyway, that was a strong intro. I apologize.
I don't
for that,
appreciate
but-
you talking about my pipeline like that. And whatever.
All right. Well, this is an episode that we're doing.
This is an episode. We're here to do an episode. And on this episode, we'll talk about things.
Yes. First and foremost,
Yes.
we got an email
Hallelujah.
in the inbox.
Where else would the email be?
Junk folder.
Oh, could be. Could be.
See what I did?
Spam.
Spam.
You're right. But
This one was not spam. So
in the inbox.
this must be the place pod@gmail.com. Feel free to email us feedback. If you disagree with my gerontocracy take, have at it. You can also call us at 612-234-1889.
Leave an angry voicemail,
Oh, yeah.
please. I love angry voicemails.
Casey, I am the Minnesotan, like, embarrass easily. Casey's from Philly. Like, he's...
I want to clarify.
You'll take a
I want to
angry
clarify
voicemail.
because this could get out of control.
Yeah.
I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, which is the Reading Railroad on Monopoly. If people from Philly,
Is that like the Rochester of... It's about an hour
that's
away?
an interesting take. Yeah, it's about an hour west, and it used to be a much more important town than it is because of textiles and manufacturing and the railroad. None of that exists in Reading anymore. There is no railroad. If they ever got the railroad back in business, it would become a commuter city for Philadelphia, and it'd be awesome, right? But for right now, it's just too far to be considered suburban Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So it's its own thing. Its own metro population area is about 250, 300,000. The city itself is shrinking. But it's a cool, I mean,
Well, again, not to get into politics,
not Philly though.
but not Philly. But I feel like trains, like this, we should be exploring this. And having more of this.
And they've been talking about it forever. And doesn't need to be the Reading episode, but it draws parallels to what's going on here with connecting Rochester,
Yeah, man.
to the Twin Cities or Chicago
Chicago
via
to-
high-speed light rail. Right?
Yeah.
Like if we invested in that kind of infrastructure and connected places via high-speed rail. And sort of cutting edge transportation technology, that investment would pay off
For sure, but it's dead in the water.
And in Reading in particular, it would pay off because like property values, it's affordable.
Yeah.
You can buy land in Reading.
Yeah.
If you could work in Philly, especially with telecommuting as it is, a couple days a week, raise
Yeah.
your family, like it would be, it'd be a boon for the whole area. And Lord knows they need it because Philadelphia is just like expanding.
Yeah.
And
if you could have like a 35-minute commute on a train,
yeah, it'd
that'd be great.
Yep. You'd be like Joe Biden.
That's right.
Taking the rails every day.
We did it,
the
Joe.
Amtrak.
We did it.
Yep.
We got an email
Yes.
in the inbox.
Yeah.
This must be theplacepod@gmail.com. Now, for privacy's sake, I will say that this emailer's name is Laura S.
Oh, not
That's too obvious.
Not L. Suds?
That's too obvious.
Okay, my bad.
Let's just say L. Suddendorf.
Okay. All right.
She writes, "Hi guys, I found your podcast from one of your TikTok clips that came across my For You page the week of Halloween last year, and I've been listening ever since. My favorite segment is Neighborhood Watch, and I have to tell you, you've inspired a neighborhood watch of sorts among my friends. We all live in different parts of the cities or suburbs. After listening to your podcast, I got the idea that we should introduce our neighborhoods to each other the way you guys highlight different neighborhoods. So far, we've only had the chance for one neighborhood watch in Shoreview, but it was fun to see the spots that our friend loves about the neighborhood, and we are all eager for our turn. Once we are done with our neighborhoods, the plan is to check out some of the neighborhoods and their highlights that you've already covered." All I got to say to that is, "Aw, that's nice." I like that.
Yeah.
And I actually had somebody reach out to me privately about Shoreview too, so maybe that's something we could cover
Shut
at some
your
point.
mouth.
I will not. BoomTimes shout out. I too am always trying to remember what the O stands for, and then I'm reminded the acronym only has consonants. Love all the music suggestions, and a special thank you for mentioning 60 songs that explain the 90s. It's one of my daily listens now. That's me.
Yeah, that's good. Take a victory lap on that one.
And then we'll get to another part of the email later, but P.S. special request to feature Windom someday. We love our neighborhood. Someday is now.
Someday has arrived.
We are going to talk the shit about Windom. Not the shit. That sounded bad.
You're going to talk shit about Windom.
And now, This Must Be the Place presents Neighborhood Watch.
We are going to talk at great length about Windom, hopefully, but keep it in brevity.
Not to be confused with Windom Park, which is in Northeast.
Or the city of Windom.
Nope. We're talking about the Windom neighborhood in South Minneapolis.
Yes.
Which is next to Kenny. Kenny's neighbor, Windom.
And Tangletown's neighbor to the south.
That's right.
Windom.
Yes.
And
Richfield's neighbor to the north.
That's exactly right. Windom.
Diamond Lake's best friend.
Diamond Lake's neighbor to the west.
Windom.
What you know about Windom?
Minneapolis's favorite son, Windom. I don't know squadoosh about Windom.
Well, let me tell you about what we're talking about. Just parameters.
You're gonna give us the.
I'm gonna just give you the data.
Give me the raw data.
We're north of Highway 62.
Boom.
We are south of 54th Street that turns into Diamond Lake Road.
Yes, that's where I was surprised.
Yes,
because
you thought it was further north. You thought it went
I
up
thought
to
it went
the
all
creek?
the way to the Parkway. Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay. It's something new. You find out.
I know.
Every week we find out something new.
It's true.
About our fair city.
It's true. So to the west is Lyndale Avenue. Mm-hmm. To the east is 35 Dub. Mm-hmm. That's your neighborhood.
It's like a square. No, it's a rectangle until it's not. It's like a rectangle with a tail.
Yeah.
Because
like
Lyndale turns and burns and curves and swerves. You know?
Right. And then 54th turns into Diamond Lake, which kind of curves and swerves a little bit.
A little bit.
It's
we can triangulate it later.
we'll triangulate it later.
But fun fact, the St. Paul Bagelry is in Windom.
Technically, it's not.
It's not?
It's north of Diamond Lake Road, bro.
Oh, shit.
By like 28 steps.
That wrecks it. So technically, it's in Tangletown.
Correct.
We're going to pretend it's in Windom.
Okay.
And did you know the St. Paul Bagelry does not have an actual bagelry in St. Paul?
I did know that because I enjoy that shop a lot.
I have tried every time I go in there, whether it's the one in Roseville or the one on Nicollet
Yep.
in Windom Town, we'll call it.
Tangled them.
Tangled them. I say, hey, you should put one of these in St. Paul. Highland Park would be great.
Yeah.
And they always are like, oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good idea, buddy. What are you having? And
Ford Parkway in Cleveland could use St. Paul Bagelry. I'm telling you.
It could use a lot of stuff. It
Yeah.
could use a hardware store.
Yeah.
Frattallone's, come on over there, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive to Grand Avenue.
You could lose half the businesses in that strip mall where
but
Panera is.
But there's so
No offense to
no,
any of the
no.
businesses,
But there's so many more spaces being built, right? Frattallone's could put a huge store in where the Lunds and Byerly's used to be. That's the perfect Frattallone's. That's like a super.
Is that
center.
vacant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, so I do really like Windom. It's like the sleepy, chill, not much happens neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's like right in the middle of everywhere that I want to be, if that makes sense.
100%.
It's like a 2-second hop, skip, and a jump across Diamond Lake Road to be on Minnehaha Parkway along the creek. So you can go for a bike ride or pretend you're a jogger. I'm really into pretending I'm a runner right now. And it's the perfect neighborhood for that. It's still fairly affordable in terms of like South Minneapolis neighborhoods.
Median sale price right now is $450K, compared with $400K for the rest of the Twin Cities, which is affordable compared to affordable compared to Tangletown, affordable compared to
Hills,
Lyndhurst,
I guess, yeah.
affordable compared to Linden Hills,
Yes, for its
affordable
surrounding
compared
area.
to Fulton.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like if I want to be in the Linden Hills or the Fulton or the Tangletown neighborhoods, right? Because of all the great things that they have to offer up along Lyndale or along Nicollet all the way up, like that's a good option to be just, a couple more blocks removed. And it's a really quiet, safe neighborhood in terms of crime stats, I think. I don't know what we're allowed or not allowed to say about that, according to Larissa. But shout out, Larissa.
She's just looking out for us.
Yeah, it's a cool neighborhood. I dig the architecture. Lots of craftsmen's. That's my vibe over there. Craftsmen's and bungalows.
Yeah, it's a disparate. I'd say it's predominantly those, but I may be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that pocket where Windom is has a ton of Cape Cods, and I don't see a ton of Cape Cods.
Like story and a half.
Yeah, with the two windows, Cape Cod with the two windows.
Yeah, with the dormers.
The dormers. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, if you look at old pictures of Windom when they were building it, it was just like row after row of those houses.
Yeah.
Maybe the 1940s and 50s
So I'm
is
not
when
crazy
they really
to think
developed that. No,
okay.
There were like no trees. It was just like clear cut and like Cape Cod, Cape Cod, Cape Cod, Cape Cod. Next street over, same deal.
Yeah.
Especially in that Lyndale corridor where it starts to feel a little bit suburban and like it doesn't feel like you're in the city over there by Bachman's.
Totally.
Almost.
You're totally right, because if you go to the east side of the neighborhood, you've got like Cub and Diamond Lake Roads right there, and you've got all those businesses.
So that feels very much urban. Feels like South Minneapolis.
Totally.
The west side of that neighborhood where it borders Kenny feels like Richfield.
Super residential, yeah.
Right? And the reason it feels like Richfield is because it was Richfield originally.
Right, it was. That's right.
So what I found
We
interesting
kept pushing
is
those Richfieldians south.
yeah, right. Richfield, like back in the day,
Yeah.
Richfield was it was Minneapolis.
Right.
It was like Richfield, Chicago, Richfield. It was like New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Richfield in order of importance in terms of national spotlight. And somewhere
Higher than London, higher than Tokyo.
Richfield.
Richfield.
And I think people liked it because of the name Richfield.
Yeah, you felt important. You kind of had a swagger when you walked.
Yeah, you showed up, you got a field,
Yeah,
you became rich.
that's exactly right.
And Minneapolis didn't have that same, it was like, ooh,
Didn't have the connotation.
small metropolis.
That's right.
So
Branding, man.
yeah, so
important.
ultimately, I don't know what happened or when it flipped, but one of the early people to figure that out was Henry Bachman. Do you know who Henry Bachman was?
He was a florist.
No. I mean, ultimately he became a florist, but no. He moved.
Michelle's grandpa?
Yep. He was the great-great-grandpa to Michelle Bachman. And who looks perfectly sane by today's standards. Just throwing that out there.
Some of the photos we've seen.
Yeah. So he moved here in 1882. German
Okay.
immigrant. Came to Minnesota.
German sound, that sounds right.
Penniless. Just a poor boy. Nobody loved him. And I was going to continue with
I'm trying to think of the rest of
some Queen verses. But so he moved here to...
He's easy come, easy go, is what you're
thank
saying.
you. Yeah. And he bought 4 acres in what was then Richfield,
Which is now...
Windom.
Okay.
And he planted potatoes and vegetables and was a vegetable farmer. And that was his business for 40 years, 30 some years. That was his business. And in 1924, he like built a carnation house on his land. And very quickly, that became the driver of capital and profit for his business. And everything pivoted from farming to florals.
Wow.
And so that's what we know today as if you drive in the Windom neighborhood, like the big thing in that neighborhood is that Bachman's Garden
Hell
Center,
yeah.
that superstore.
You're driving on 62, you see that big, obnoxious Peter's Billiards building, like right looking you in the face right on the highway.
Yeah.
Just north of that.
Stools, billiards.
Bar stools, billiards, dartboards, pool
Or,
tables.
you know, if you're coming from 35, coming from north from Bloomington,
yes.
and you don't follow 35 around and you get off on Lyndale. Lyndale turns from highway into City Street Lyndale, what you know of. But right at that where it turns from highway to city streets, to the left is where that Bachman's Supercenter is. So Bachman's is this huge superstore flower center now. And it started as just little old Henry Bachman moving here, planting his potatoes. And now it's
Penn. I was thinking of Penn.
Penn.
62 and Penn.
Okay. Is it Gertens? There's a Gertens there?
It's Wagner's.
Wagner's, yes.
Another German.
Yes. And there's also, it used to be a Wagner's out on Old Shakopee. It might be a second one, but that
Cool story, bro.
Anyways, so not Gertens, not Wagner's, but
We landed that plane.
Bachman's.
Bachman's. Henry Bachman.
Henry
Hanky Bach.
Hanky Bach. Yep. And that's been Windom. Thanks for
No, we have
joining us.
more to talk about Windom.
Yeah, so let's dive into the stats a little bit here. So Windom average price, $450,000, but that's based on
Recent.
very little data.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with a lot of these smaller neighborhoods is if you have 3 homes close or 2 homes close in the month of April, your data is based off those 2 homes.
Right.
And if those
and
2
the median
homes
home price is the middle one.
Yeah, and if those 2 homes are mansions, your median price is going to be higher, and if those
Right.
2 homes are starter homes. So this is when, in talking to our friend
David Arbit,
the rolling 6-month average is a little bit clearer of a picture. A rolling 12
little lower
is a
than
little
450,
clear.
right?
Oh, we're at 377.
So that tells us that in April of this year, we probably had some bougier properties sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Or it's the height of that cyclical market.
Right. And maybe there was only 9
So
transactions.
it is still an affordable neighborhood.
Totally.
Interestingly enough, first time in the history of the Twin Cities, 7-county metro, Twin Cities housing market where we may break $400,000 as a median price. First time ever. We're sitting at $399,900 right now.
It's a milestone.
It is a milestone. And it speaks to affordability in the Twin Cities, but it also, you know, for as unaffordable as it can seem here at times, there are so many other metro areas that are so much less affordable.
Yeah, I mean, population-wise, I think this metro area is top 15 for sure.
I think we're the only metro in the country where home ownership 35-year-olds are like 50% home ownership or something like that.
Yeah, sure. And the rest of the country's way below that.
Way below.
Yeah.
Which speaks to economic possibilities, job opportunities, with breadth of industry that we have in the Twin Cities. as well as the ability to be affordable if you're willing to be in parts of Minneapolis or St. Paul, but even move out to, Lakeville, Rosemount, Maple
Sure,
Grove, where the
sure,
building is.
sure.
So, how many days do you think that we are how many days on market average in Windom, do you think?
Oh, trivia time. 25.
Ooh, 19.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, things go a little bit quicker in
Now, for
in
those of
Windom.
you listening, like you see properties selling in a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and we're talking 19 to 25. That's because there's a lot of properties that sit for 30, 60, 90, 120 days that offset the 1, 2, 3, 4 day. So 19 days, it means things are selling pretty fast.
Yeah, percent of original list price?
101%.
No, 98.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think people are starting to think their homes are worth a little more than they are.
Too big for your britches.
Too big for their britches, as they would say.
As Casey would say.
But I think also it speaks to the fact that there maybe are some older homes or homes that need a little bit of love and work that are on the market that were priced incorrectly to begin with, that are just sitting there bringing down the averages.
Sure.
'Cause we're still in a spot, obviously, in Windom and other parts of the cities where if it's a good house and it's priced appropriately, it's going quick.
Yep.
To multiple offers for above asking.
Yep.
But that's offset by the guys that have their house on the market for 265 days without a price reduction, and they need a floor because you walk in and it's just floor joists.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
so yeah, that's what I know about Windom. I did want to touch on eventually some stuff that Laura
Yes, we
L
will.
Suds.
We will get on that.
talks loves about her neighborhood.
Laura S. You mean?
L Suds.
Oh, L. Suds. Sure.
They call it Mr. Rogers neighborhood, which I think is funny because I could see it as a very Mr. Rogersy
That's
type,
right.
type place.
Yes.
It's like border. It's like a suburban city. In
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
you know, the Kowalski, is it Kowalski's or is it Lunds and Barley's along Lyndale there?
Kowalski's.
Yeah, that feels very like a little suburban corridor.
Or is that in
as
Chicago?
well. Kowalski's is on Portland.
We really should have done some more research on this. Now, what else are we going to... Do you want to talk about...
The Russian Museum of Art.
It's called the Museum of Russian Art, but if you want to... If you want to
I call it the
dyslexic
Russian-
it up, go right ahead.
I call it the Russian Museum of Art.
I want to talk about, very briefly, this Windom, the name, is all over Minnesota. Who are we named after here?
Windy Windom.
William Windom. I don't want to go too much into his history. He was a U.S. congressman, senator, and then after he retired, he was nominated to be Secretary of the Treasury by 2 different presidents, served 2 different terms as Secretary of the Treasury in the United States.
Did he do a good job?
I don't have enough information to answer that question. He ran for president.
Did he do a good job
No, he did not. He failed.
there? Okay, all right.
He was noted in Congress for his advocacy of railroad regulations. And he was a Republican.
Do you want to know
So
why?
that just tells you how much everything's changed.
So we're at the state fair.
Yeah.
There's the Dan Patch,
yeah.
or Dan Ryan.
Dan
Patch.
Patch Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah. There was the Dan Patch Railroad
Yeah.
that ran through Windom and became a dumping ground. And so that was one of the big contentious things in Windom's history, is that
A dumping ground for what? Trash?
like industrial dumping ground shit. Yeah. So there was a huge cleanup project that happened within that neighborhood to clean up where that railroad site was all through there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to play a quick game with you about William Windom. It's called 2 Truths and a Lie.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to state 3 facts about William Windom.
I shouldn't.
And
look up
2
his
of them are
history right
true and 1 of them is a lie. And I really want you to think hard about these because it's not going to be easy. Okay. 2 truths and a lie. Number 1, his grandson was a prominent actor, most famous for Murder, She Wrote and Star Trek. Number 2,
You're not going to tell me what the characters he was in Murder, She Wrote or Star Trek?
I don't know
Okay.
if that is in fact true or not.
All right. Okay.
Number 2, William Windom died while giving a speech at Delmonico's Steakhouse in New York City
Okay.
in the financial district.
Okay.
Number 3,
He was Secretary of the Treasury.
number 3,
Okay.
he made his fortune on a business called Wee Willie Windom's Wet and Wild Window Washers and Wood Wagon Warehouse. Think about it.
Listen, man. Listen, I've known you long enough to know that you are just a sucker for alliteration. You love some good alliteration. There is no way that the Wee Willie Windom's Window Washing and Wood Warehouse didn't come
No. Wee Willie Windom's Wet and Wild Window Washers and Wood Wagon Warehouse.
Yeah, no, that's a for sure out of the brain of Andrew Shields thing. So
Two truths and a lie.
That is the lie.
Casey, you have passed.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, if it was even remotely less alliterative, there's a good shot that if it was just Wee Willie Windom, but the Wet and Wild is where you got me.
I had to take it.
I'm not sure Wet and Wild existed in the 1800s.
Hey man,
when Willie Windom.
You got to commit to the bit.
See, you do like the rhymes.
I do like the rhymes.
So the Russian Museum of Art, or
Museum of Russian Art, as it's
which
correctly called,
is right on the corner of
Nicollet
and 54th.
Yeah, it's by the Cub.
Diamond Lake Road.
It's by the Cub.
It's a
how I
cool
know
museum.
everything.
Zoran, my neighbor out in
Yeah,
the studio,
Moiselov.
had a big show there last year, and his artwork is provocative and thoughtful and awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been inside, but it's something that I've always wanted to check out. So,
And I read on the website, I like big bold letters. It's the Russian Museum of Art, but they support Ukraine.
Yes. Yeah, that's what you'll notice right away.
Yeah.
So there's also, and again, we're going to call it, what'd you call it? Tangledom?
Tangledom.
Yeah, we're going to call it Tangledom because that's where it is Kowalski's, but it's in Tangledom.
It's in
Technically,
Tangledom.
it's in Tangletown.
Yeah.
Because it's across 54th Street, which turns into Diamond Lake.
Correct.
Max Fish and Chips is
Max
there.
Fish and Chips.
And we
talked about fish
discussed
and
Max
chips.
Fish and Chips.
Casey puts ketchup on his fish. Oh my God.
I do.
I'm gonna vomit.
I do, and I am.
You're not ashamed.
I don't apologize. No.
Apologize.
But what L. Suds likes about it is the South Lyndale liquor store. And again, I'm not sure that half of the things that Miss Suds enjoys are actually in Windom.
Okay. South Lyndale Liquors
Yeah.
is subjectively, in my opinion, the best liquor store in the upper Midwest.
And
she agrees.
I think she agrees. It has a wine and deli bar counter patio that's dog friendly, that she loves. Weekends have an extended menu. She says she doesn't have anything that's like her favorite on the menu because she's tried everything and
Brother?
she loves it all.
Brother, let me tell you something.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me about a place called Brother.
No, I'm calling you brother.
Okay.
So South Lyndale Liquors used to be a couple blocks north, and they outgrew their space, and they wanted to add sandwiches. Now, I've not had any of these sandwiches.
You're a sandwich guy. What
I know, but this is full stop. Must be our next, because you obviously haven't looked at the menu because you would have already been excited. So M. Castle from Racket, friend of the podcast, she wrote an article when they moved to their bigger location in Windom from Tangletown, and reviewed the sandwiches. Do you remember Bewitched Deli?
No.
It was a sandwich joint in North Loop, I believe North Loop, maybe 15, 20 years ago. Beloved, like the most amazing sandwiches in the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Closed down.
Okay.
The owner of South Lyndale Liquors hired the Bewitched guy.
To do the sandwiches
Yeah,
there?
to do
Okay.
the sandwiches.
Well, look, we have to go now.
Well-
now it's a thing. Read me.
Okay,
Read to me.
here we go.
Okay.
They have a roast. These are their dipped sandwiches. These are hot sandwiches, dipped, dunked in a broth or a jus or whatever,
Yeah.
what have you.
Yeah.
Roast pork with provolone and broccoli rabe.
You got me because that sounds like a Philadelphia sandwich.
I'm not done. They have a brisket Philly with fondue, mushrooms,
no.
peppers, and beef jus.
Nope, you lost me.
You cannot.
You can't put Philly in the name of anything and then have fondue after it.
It's a fucking cheese whiz, bro.
I'm sure it's delicious, but no.
No,
I'm not
we're
try
gonna-
it.
yes, you are
I'm
gonna
gonna try
try
the
it.
pork with the broccoli rabe.
They have an Italian beef, which, okay, we have to have a sandwich rankings at some point because I've never had a Philly sandwich proper.
I'm gonna like put one in my carry-on next time. So my
Yeah.
favorite sandwich in Philly, growing up, my favorite one was Nick's roast beef, 28th and Jackson. It was you ordered it overboard, which means it was just soaking wet and came with a side of extra au jus to dip.
Love it.
But as an adult, my favorite sandwich is not my favorite cheesesteak. My favorite sandwich is a chicken cutlet, breaded chicken cutlet, pounded out super thin, breaded, super crispy and delicious, on a seeded roll.
Oh, man.
On a seeded, hoagie
I'm hungry
log.
and
It's like a
dying
foot
right
log.
now. Yeah.
With broccoli rabe,
yeah.
hot peppers, and provolone. And it's from, used to be Tony Luke's, now it's Tony and Nick's.
Why do I know that? Where is that?
Tony Luke's is like one of the places. They have it in the ballparks, I think in the Lincoln Financial, but it's on like Front and...
Maybe I've just heard of it or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like to the level of like Geno's and Pat's.
Yeah.
But it's like just below that in terms of what people would be like, oh, it's touristy or whatever. But that sandwich in particular is so freaking good. It is. It's my favorite sandwich in the world. So that's what that roast pork with broccoli rabe is giving me.
They also have an Italian beef, which is like I said, I've never had a proper Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
For my money, the Italian beef sandwich
Yeah.
is like in my top 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have one with jardinera.
Yeah.
With
Dude.
the peppers. With
Dude, we gotta go.
They also have a chicken parm hoagie.
Yeah, dude.
Here's
the problem, man, is we need like we need an Iron Ranger, we need the porchetta from the Iron Ranger, we need, Clancy, we need, and how do we get them all together?
I don't
to
know.
Eat them in their glory.
This is the
all
biggest
next to each other.
This is the biggest problem we face as a society.
If anyone listening wants to be part of this experiment, we could get 4 or 5 people to all pick up sandwiches from the different places.
Yeah.
And we could meet in like a central location and then divvy them all up and eat them right there with everybody and film it.
I love that. That's something that's going to happen. Or it probably won't, but I want it to.
It won't, but I think DC might be on board for this.
Yeah, DC will be
So
on
there's
board for
at
sure.
least one more.
I bet Laura will be on board.
Yeah. Laura,
Okay, we got to rush through this because
Okay, yeah.
you
Okay,
got to
let
get
me-
somewhere.
okay.
There's also the Tailgate Sports Cafe, which is, if you're driving up Nicollet, that
Yep.
is the sports bar / restaurant
Yep.
with half of a pickup truck
Yep.
sticking out of the back.
She loves that.
I have never been because there's somebody in my past that I find annoying that frequents there, so I don't ever go. But I looked at the menu online. It's like the fucking Cheesecake Factory. It's like
Yeah.
18,000 pages.
Yep, I've been there.
Okay, anyway.
Prima, which again is in Tangledom.
Yes.
Laura loves that.
Wild My
good
Nails.
Italian, affordable price.
Yep.
And she said particularly good if you're like pescatarian and you're into fish.
Yes.
Okay. Wild Mine Ales,
Yep.
fun brewery.
Yep.
And coffee in the mornings.
Yep.
Some food trucks every once in a while. Outside of
Taqueria Victor Hugo food truck, which are some of the best tacos in the city, if you can
Okay.
find that food truck.
it. All right. And then just in general, like I don't know too many more spots within the neighborhood, but the neighborhood's like it's right there. So
Yeah,
even
man.
if it's not in the neighborhood, like I mean, we say 10 minutes from everywhere a lot, but like you really are 10 minutes from pretty much everything amazing in South
because you've got that
Minneapolis.
43rd and Upton intersection right there. You cross 35W, you've got 48th in Chicago, that intersection. You've got everything everywhere right all around you. So
Yeah.
shout out Windom.
Yeah. Shout out Windom. Shout out El Suds.
Laura S. That's too obvious.
Laura
though,
S.
So we're going to
Yeah,
say
yes.
El Suddendorf.
Yes. Well,
That's a Simpsons reference for those who don't understand it. Okay. She also has a real estate question.
yes.
That we're going to tackle super quick because
Yeah.
you got to get it. Casey has a pre-signing.
I
he
do
has to
have
go
a
to.
pre-signing to get to today. Yep.
She says, here's my real estate question. Letters to sellers, a nice way to share your story and let the seller know more information that may or may not sway them when choosing an offer or an unethical practice. I ask because my friend's realtor told her absolutely no love letters, they are unethical. And when my husband and I purchased our home in the Windom neighborhood, our realtor had told us it was up to us to decide if we wanted to add a letter with the offer. Ultimately, we didn't, but when I sold my house in Rochester, I chose an offer because of a love letter and was happy to sell to a family rather than a landlord acquiring another property.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Thoughts? I have some.
Yeah.
I have them.
Bang them out. Well, he's having a fit. So I will say that I think that first landlord is wrong. I don't think there's any black and white, absolutely
Landlord
no
or
love letters.
realtor?
They're unethical. I don't think that's right. What?
I've heard realtors say that they can be unethical.
That's what she's saying. Her friend's realtor said that.
Yeah, I thought you said landlord.
No, I said that later.
Oh. But regardless, I don't see a scenario in which they are unethical.
I think they can be unethical
Well,
because there's fair housing laws. If you're talking about a specific protected class, then that can be construed as unethical.
yeah, but I guess, yes. So
But
no,
I think
no, I
Laura,
guess.
in general, and to all you listeners, in my opinion, I think if you have that in mind and you are respectful, write a love letter. Unless sometimes sellers don't want them, and that's fine. Then
I think a
don't.
lot of times in multiple situations, sellers don't want love letters or escalation clauses.
Correct.
But there are clever ways around that as realtors.
You just have them write one and attach it to the offer.
No. In the email where you're giving a synopsis of your letter, you talk about my clients who are a young family who, will lovingly, take care of this house for whatever, are so excited to present their offer to you, blibbity blobbity blue. But the thing that I like about love letters in the current landscape of where we're at in not only housing nationally, not so much in the Twin Cities, more nationally, is that there are a lot of landlords or companies buying up houses, cash offers, to add to their portfolio of investments. And there are sellers that very much want their home to not be part of that, right?
Natural feeling.
And so my sellers, who I'm actually going to pre-signing for right now, were very happy to know that the buyers were a local family who were both teachers, who were gonna love and live in their house and own the house that they live in.
Be valuable stewards of the home in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and so I think
Right.
that can be a deciding, if you have two competing offers that are similar, that can be a deciding factor. And I think it's perfectly okay for that to be a deciding factor. You're right. If you're like, oh, we are a white family that's proud to look in the neighborhood or whatever, like, yeah, it can be, but how many love letters have you ever seen in all the years you've been doing this that get into fair housing or protected classes? And do you screen the love letters?
I do screen the
Yep.
love letters.
Have you ever had to tell them, like, chill?
I might have once or twice, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, just keep fair housing in the back of your mind. Just keep protected classes in the back of your mind
Yeah.
if you are going to write a love letter. Other than that, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, say how amazing you think the house is. Say what you're going to do.
Yeah.
How you're going to be a great owner.
Yeah.
talk about that
Yep.
for sure.
I mean, you can talk about your family
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
You can talk about your attachment to the area, or you've always dreamed
My son
about.
loves the park down the block.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, tug on the heartstrings all you want. I can say a lot of times that sellers though nowadays are like in the climate of the market are like, nope, we just money talks. You know what I mean? Like we don't even want to be confused by the rest.
We
want to
we want to be cold, emotionless robots.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that. That's fine.
Yep.
I hope that answered your question.
Welcome to Boom Times, a segment called Boom Times, Boom Times.
What do you got this week?
BoomTimes.
Yeah.
No vowels. BM for those new listeners. BMTMS.
Books.
Movies.
Only often movies.
No. Books, movies, music. Wait.
Books. Only
Mo-
often movies.
music, TV,
television. Intimate.
Sports.
Manifestations. Exuding sports.
It doesn't have the same ring, bro. It's pretty good though.
I'm gonna
Exuding sports.
exuding, exuberant sports.
Boom-
Exciting. Oh, weren't hold on one second.
Okay.
Wasn't this, didn't it have an extreme sports at one point? Only extreme sports? Books, movies, only extreme sports.
I don't even know any extreme sports.
Snowboarding.
I don't know anything about snowboarding. Shaun White?
I think he's too old now.
Okay.
The Flying Tomato. That was his nickname.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always got him confused with Carrot Top.
You know what they don't have anymore? Good extreme sports video games. I remember growing up, I really liked the snowboarding game, like
Tony
the
Hawk's
Tony
Pro
Hawk
Skater.
game.
Oh, yeah.
Like even way back in the day, Paperboy.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Where are those games? It's all like 2K now. 2K this, 2K that.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me Paperboy.
give me Paperboy.
Yeah.
Give me 2025's version
Let's have
of
somebody
Paperboy.
open a sewer when I'm about to bike over it and I got to get out of the way.
Or killer bees are flying at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, skate or die.
Oh, Skate or Die was great.
Dude,
Yeah.
I want those games back.
Yeah.
And I want them with today's graphics on today's consoles.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, extreme sports.
Okay.
BoomTimes.
You don't have any boom times?
No, I mean, I got a million BoomTimes. I got so many BoomTimes, I'll never make my appointment.
Number one, MallRat. So I took my daughter to go see this artist. She's called MallRat. She's from Brisbane, Australia.
Okay.
At the 7th Street entry, which is an amazing place to see a concert. It's tiny. We got there right when the doors opened. We went right to the front of the stage. We watched the whole concert.
Yeah.
My daughter's 12. She was the youngest one in there by a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
After the show, as soon as the show ended, MallRat ran up to my daughter with a set list, gave it to her, hugged her.
That's
my daughter's
amazing.
bawling. Like it was like one of the touchstone important moments of both of our lives.
That's a core memory right
Core
there.
memory.
That is a
And not
core
only
memory.
that, MallRat, I'm starting to buy some real estate and build some houses on MallRat Island because she's 26 years old.
Okay.
She did do a song with Azalea Banks, which, Azalea Banks is great, but problematic. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But she's kind of like, her hero seems to be Lana Del Rey. So she's
Okay.
kind of like dream poppy, but also a little, anyway, she has a song called Pavement and another
Okay.
song called Defibrillator.
Okay.
I'm buying up all the stock I can of her because I feel like she's going to be playing big venues and she's going to be great going
You feel
forward.
like her star is rising?
Yeah, and I'm building properties on MallRat Island.
Okay.
To sell them
All
for a
right.
lot more later.
Okay. All right.
Go.
No, you keep going. I know you got a couple.
Number 2,
Yeah.
we're in the NBA playoffs, and now the games are a little earlier,
Which is nice.
which is nice. So when the game ends and I'm not quite ready for bed, I go onto YouTube and I watch Cooking Something with Matty Matheson. Are you familiar with Matty Matheson?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great. Yes. I love that guy.
this man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's in The Bear, and he's kind of in the zeitgeist culturally. And
Yeah.
you know who he is.
Yeah.
But if you've never watched his YouTube shows, Cooking Something,
Yeah.
he's super talented, hilarious,
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've been doing lately. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's great. I haven't had a ton of time for things recently, unfortunately. Kids finishing up school.
Correct.
Sports stuff happening, and then some houses on the market and other. But we finally finished Handmaid's Tale. After
my wife watches that. I know.
decade of, what seems like a decade, and them dragging it out far too long.
Yeah.
And it was nice to get some closure, but like the ending.
My wife has one episode left.
Yeah, I won't ruin it.
Oh, okay.
It's boring. It didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Didn't land the plane.
And so sometimes you don't want shows to put nice little bows on things because it's not realistic.
Yeah.
But sometimes when they've been stringing you along for a decade, you just like put a bow on it. Wrap it up, make everybody happy, have the big moment. And it didn't have the big moment.
Bummer.
And so like, when you finish a show and you just kind of turn it off and you're like, okay, what's next? So like that's what it felt like, which felt like a letdown after 10 years.
Sucks.
So I'd be interested to know what your wife's take or any listeners' take
Yeah.
on that.
Let us know.
And then The Last of Us, after...
I'm not caught up yet.
That's fine. After a couple what I felt were down episodes.
We just finished episode 4 last night, I think.
Yeah, look, it's hard, man, when you lose Pedro Pascal. It's hard to lose an actor of that quality and caliber who the show has been built around and not feel like the show has lost something major, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so after a couple shows where we were like, okay, like, is this going Walking Dead? Or are we gonna see what happens? Like, the last episode that we saw was very much like, okay.
Did you watch the finale?
I don't know if what I saw was the finale or not.
The finale's out there.
Yeah, maybe we need to. If that was the finale, fuck that, because that was some bullshit. But like, it was a good episode, so I'm hoping that it's building towards the finale.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I got. Pretty boring BoomTimes from this week. Oh, and I've rediscovered my love for Pearl Jam 10, the album 10.
Oh yeah.
I listened to that while fixing a client's garage for far too long, and it was very much like the music I needed to power through that because it was like,
Yes.
it was a good feel.
I went over to Casey's listing yesterday and helped him move a couple of heavy pieces of furniture into that garage, which he then listened to Pearl Jam 10 and did presumably a couple hours worth of work more. But yeah, 1993, I was 14 in that album. And I haven't liked Pearl Jam really since that album, but that album changed me.
Yeah.
I would come home from school every day, put it on, listen to it from beginning to end every day, and I loved it.
That album was amazing for me, and I also really liked Vitalogy.
Yeah, it all went downhill.
And then Yellow
Led.
Ledbetter, obviously, like just the riff in that or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got much more into Pearl Jam's live stuff and their demos because they had like a very much like a Fish or Grateful Dead type archive of early demos and cassette tapes and like rare Japan shows and
an
things
associated
like
rabid fan base because of those.
Yeah, right. So
Fish
I really dug like seeing like, oh man, this was called Demo in A minor, what became Alive. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And like hearing the early manifestations of that as a musician who really gets into like how things are formed and where creation comes from, seeing the process of that creation from demo to finished product was really cool for me.
Do you remember the band in the movie Singles, of which many members of Pearl Jam were in?
Yeah.
Matt Dillon, I believe, was the lead singer. Do you remember the name of their band?
No.
Citizen Dick.
Citizen Dick, that's right.
All right. This is my last thing for BoomTimes. I have a prop.
Okay. Okay.
For all of you watching on YouTube, this is a prop of a zipper merge.
Yes.
I went camping over the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of road closures and there's a lot of cones out there and there's a lot of lane ends merge left.
Get off my lawn moment.
Now, Minnesotans,
Yes.
historically,
Yes. Can't do it.
they do the left photo. They do the left photo. All of them.
Yeah.
Be like the people on the right.
Yeah.
If a lane ends and it says lane ends, merge right, you don't need to panic and get right in that next lane.
No.
You go all the way to
No.
the end
No.
and you keep
Yep.
the teeth of the zipper moving.
And conversely, if you're in the right-hand lane
Yes.
and you made the dumb decision to be there a mile early, don't get mad at the people who are in the left-hand lane, zipper merging in. Go every
I
other.
would go so far as to say if you are in the dumb right-hand lane, move over to the left-hand lane.
Go every other. It makes everybody's journey faster.
It does.
Makes everybody's life easier.
Easier.
It makes driving more enjoyable for that moment.
Yeah.
But I've been here long enough to know that it will never happen in Minnesota. There are campaigns. There are signs out on the roads.
I know.
There are you got the governor.
public service
You got the
announcement.
governor talking about this stuff.
I know.
And for some reason, we just can't.
People
seem
see
to
a
do
sign that says either merge or lane ends merge, and they panic.
Yeah.
And they just are like, I got to put my. You don't even have to
Yeah.
put your blinker on. Go all the way to the end, and it's
Nope.
just.
it. Yep.
All right.
All right. That was it. That was okay.
Andrew's annoyances is
Yeah.
what we're calling that.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
What a robust, lively episode
Yes.
that was.
We'll see you next week.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. Whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north. Let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. This must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Said ain't no time to waste. Talk to me. This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Said come on down, 'cause this must